Tony Khan has finally answered some questions in regards to AEW ROH. We're going to give you a little bit of a recap. We're going to talk about it in this video. Also, we have a high-resolution first look at the AEW Women's Championship belt. The new title design has been revealed. And of course, we got to talk about CM Punk future AEW plans because a World Championship run could very well be in the mix. If you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And if I'm not as energetic as normal, AEW Revolution just ended a couple hours ago. It's about 3 in the morning at the time of this recording, so I do apologize for that. But anyways, let's get on with the show. CM Punk is reportedly rumored to go and chase the World Championship from Adam Hangman Page. Sounds like Adam Cole will be going back into some storytelling with the Young Bucks. And then, of course, you got the Elite. Kenny Omega is set to return soon. CM Punk at the media scrums. CM Punk at AEW Revolution. Taunting for the championship belt. I don't know if there's a situation that CM Punk may actually turn heel, but I do think it is inevitable at some point CM Punk does have to become a heel in AEW. We don't have any confirmation for sure that CM Punk would be turning heel. And yes, of course, AEW could always tell this story with both of them technically being a babyface. I just think it's inevitable at some point CM Punk has to turn heel, and it very well could be a situation where CM Punk does actually chase the World Championship. From a business perspective, I do think CM Punk winning the belt at least once in his AEW career would probably be beneficial to AEW. And plus, when you consider that AEW just recently purchased Ring of Honor, you know, there's obviously some opportunity there as well. So it's just something to kind of keep in mind. I think a lot of people are excited to see what's next for Hangman Page. I believe Hangman Page is a great champion. I think AEW has been in a tough situation with booking him. Obviously, him beating Adam Cole in the main event was pretty big. So CM Punk getting that opportunity could also be really big for Adam Hangman Page as well. From my knowledge, I don't believe they've wrestled before. I could be wrong, though. This is the first look at the new AEW Women's World Championship belt. Absolutely incredible design. For a lot of people who are watching AEW Revolution, they may have not actually seen this in high detail, full detail, which is totally understandable. It is bigger than the previous belt. I want to bring you guys the first look and just kind of talk about this division because there seems to be a lot of rumors of new signings. Tony Khan is not necessarily backing away from mentioning that he's looking at adding more people to the roster and whatnot. The women's division is very interesting because Paige Van Zandt will also be competing in the division itself, but this new belt looks beautiful. And I do think it is inevitable that Thunder Rosa wins that championship belt. I do think it's inevitable. Just like I think CM Punk winning the belt at least once in his AEW career is inevitable, I believe Thunder Rosa is the next one to take the belt. In fact, we actually talked about this in my live post show for AEW Revolution, which, by the way, if you were there, thank you. We had over 500 live viewers, which was pretty awesome. But one of the things that we talked about in that live post show is this idea that Thunder Rosa could very well have a steel cage match with Britt Baker. This keeps away all the people from ringside. Some people even mentioned in the live stream perhaps they do a weaponized match in the steel cage, which I think could be really cool. We just saw that recently in NXT with Tony D'Angelo and Pete Dunne. I love a weaponized cage match. I think it adds to the fun. Obviously, Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa have had just really good storytelling, honestly, back and forth. It's just a really good scenario for them specifically. So I do like the idea of that cage match. This is the new look of the belt. I'm glad they changed it. It looks a lot better. This looks really freaking good. And I think AEW needs to be given credit in the direction they have gone as a company with their championship belts, because honestly, that's just how good it is. But also at the same time, too, Britt Baker is the champion right now. She is the heel. I think there is going to be a title change, and I think it's going to happen in San Antonio, which, by the way, people were wondering why AEW didn't make a big deal out of the title change and everything like that. I'm not really sure, but the belt is here. It's on TV. They're not necessarily hiding from it. These images came directly from AEW on social media. All right, guys, Tony Khan talking at the media scrums. A lot of people want to know the details between AEW and ROH and what is happening. First and foremost, Tony Khan did mention that he is booking Ring of Honor. So it is going to be a brand that will be producing content, that will be having matches. Really cool. He will be booking Ring of Honor. Need to mention something really quick too. Tony Khan booking Ring of Honor tells me he has a hard time trusting other people to take this and to run this, and not just ROH but also AEW. Tony Khan wants the creative freedom. He's putting a lot of responsibility on himself, but he was asked during the media scrum about responsibilities. One of the things that he alluded to was he mentioned a lot of the new coaches. Obviously, William Regal is now in AEW on screen and behind the scenes. Also, Ace Steel from NXT, also a widely known indie wrestler, has now joined them as a coach. Obviously, they got Sanjay Dutt. They have Jerry Lynn. They have a variety of veterans who have been helping out behind the scenes. So these people will also be assisting Tony Khan in Ring of Honor. Now, with that being said, Tony Khan hinted at a couple things that we need to discuss. He actually referenced the dynamic between NXT 2.0 in comparison to WWE's main roster. Now, Tony Khan is clearly not telling people that Ring of Honor will be a developmental system, but based on everything he said, it sounds like it is a developmental system. So keep in mind, he just wouldn't outright say it, but he's mentioned it. He also mentioned that Bryan Danielson and William Regal are guys that he can turn to. So definitely this idea of coaching and developing talent makes a lot of sense. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because Tony Khan also talked about the talent that could work in AEW or ROH. He almost pretty much confirmed the word brand split without actually saying brand split. He talked about how there are a ton of young, contracted, and uncontracted talent in AEW. So, without him actually necessarily saying brand split or the words developmental, ROH is going to be a product that will intertwine with AEW. There's a lot of people that believed either ROH would be just a tape library for AEW, or they believed that there would be just this mixture where everybody's going to go and work wherever the hell they want. And that doesn't seem to be the case. It sounds like they will be having two separate rosters based on what Tony Khan is saying. Also, another thing that is really important because people are curious about TV deal and whatnot, Tony Khan can't get into the specifics of distributing ROH, but one of the things that he did actually mention was that the media partners that he has with AEW were obviously in the know with AEW buying ROH. My belief here, and this is something I kind of talked about before, I think AEW could very well have Ring of Honor 1 hour per week, every week, maybe filming from like Universal Studios or something. I'm not sure where it would be. Maybe it's in Baltimore, because obviously ROH has the standing there. But I believe that this will be the developmental brand. It'll have its own roster, its own records, very similar to what AEW is. Just like how NXT 2.0 became aligned with the main roster, which is kind of that where that comparison came from. But I think Tony Khan's in a situation where he is going to have this show, and he's going to be booking it with a separate roster. It's going to be intertwined with AEW, and they'll be able to get called up and moved up, and he'll be able to have this show on Warner Media. Now, there is a lot of opportunities for AEW here. He hasn't announced a TV deal. I'll keep you guys updated. But I'm predicting True TV or maybe even the Bleacher Report app. Those would be two logical places for ROH to be. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. ROH being the developmental brand split, different roster, two different rosters. It's really cool. A lot of talent that he's looking at, a lot of talent that he already has. It should be very interesting.